All right, it says I'm live. Hey, hey, how are you doing? Hopefully, you're doing well. Man, I have not fully been on YouTube in a while, and I miss it. I just been really busy with a lot of things. So, in this video, I want to share. Hopefully, you're doing well, and you can put there's a chat so you can ask questions and stuff throughout. But my goal really here is to give a recap of what has happened this year. Where have I been? What have I been up to? And share some of the accomplishments, some of the challenges, some of the setbacks, and then also share what's coming because I think you guys need to know. So, hopefully, you're having a blessed weekend. Hopefully, you had a fantastic holiday, whether you celebrate Christmas or not. And I'm just going to jump right into it because this is different from a Facebook Live. And I don't want people, I can't do this sitting around waiting thing. But um, so a lot of things happened this year. And one of the biggest things that happened is I officially have retired from the Air Force. So as of March, I officially retired, and that was a complete change in itself, right? So I am in Arkansas now. And if you've seen me and you've been following me for a while, I was always in California, and that's because that's where I was stationed. And upon retirement and knowing that that was coming and figuring out where I wanted to be, family wanted me home. So I was like, all right, I'll come home. So I got back here and then hung out for a little bit in base housing here until I officially retired. And that actually happened on the 1st of March, which was pretty cool. Terrifying because I'm so used to it was actually quiet. Like the moment I left, quiet. So all the phone calls I used to get from the military, all that type of stuff, like it went truly silent. And it was a good feeling, but also it was something I missed. It was something I was comfortable with, right? And the plan was because I couldn't do it sooner. Well, the plan was I couldn't leave the country until I officially retired. And so March 1st was when I planned on leaving. I planned on going to Thailand and doing the same business from because I could do this wherever, um, and do it somewhere and really just get to see something else, some new culture, some new stuff like that. However, a couple of things happened. One, while being here, I found out that my uncle broke his hip. He's 81 years old. He was 81 at the time. And he broke his hip and he had no one to take care of him. So he had no family that was wanting to help support him and get him going again. Right? He broke it to where he was on in a wheelchair and needed rides everywhere. He was going to dialysis, all this stuff. And at the same time, the place I was thinking about living in Thailand had a major earthquake. So I was like, all right, God, I got you. I'm supposed to stay here. You're trying to make sure I stay here. So I stayed here and I said, you know what? I'm going to take care of him. He doesn't have anyone. I'm going to build him back up. Okay. So um, I spent a lot of time doing that. Okay. And then my house flooded from a bad storm, Arkansas's weather. So it was snow plus rain, and it led to like my roof like completely caving in and leaking. So they ended up putting me in a hotel. And if you've seen any of the last review videos I've done, they were done in a different setting because I had to be in a hotel. Well, I have to be. That they paid for it for me to be there, and I still need to get these reviews knocked out. So I that's where I ended up doing them at, which was pretty crazy. And that's where I ended up doing the last few water reviews, right? So because I knew I was staying here to take care of my uncle, it was going to be a year minimum before he was able to walk again, if that. I decided to join BNI, which is Business Networking International. And I joined it before in California. It was a really, really great experience. And I really got to connect with other business professionals and spread the word of this water to them. And then they would spread to their families, medical professionals. I got to work with chiropractors and all that type of stuff. So I figured, you know what? Let me do the same thing here in Arkansas. And maybe I could reach health professionals that way. And it got me back to the roots of what I enjoyed doing before, which was actually giving water to people, having them feel that difference, and then from there making the switch. It's been challenging. Arkansas is not as at least where I've been. The people I've been running into, they aren't as health conscious as what I've experienced in California, but that's what I've been trying. And then ultimately, I did my last water review on the 26th of July. Okay, so that was the last water review, and after that, I couldn't do anymore. Okay, and when you've done, I think I've done about 118 now, 118 water reviews I've tested, and in the beginning, it was, wow, let's see what happens, right? Let's all experiment and learn together. But after 118 of seeing the same style of bottled waters, the same things happening time and time again, you start to notice a trend. And I know a lot of people, one of their comments is, it seems like you trash every bottled water. And I'm like, no, I'm just discovering like you. And after 118, I've noticed that every bottled water is trash, just about in some way, shape, or form. So that's what I ended up discovering. And I started this, I want to say, in 2020. So it's been about 5 years, of doing water tests every week, putting out a different water and testing a different water. So it's been a crazy journey. And around that same time, though, if things couldn't get any worse, it did. My brother-in-law had a stroke. And a lot of people take that as a bad thing. I take it as a good thing. And the reason why is because the path he was on forced this to happen, right? And so one of the major causes of stroke is dehydration. So yeah, he was living a life that was not good. And so this stroke that happened, even though it was under a bad circumstance, it brought family together. It made everybody take a look and realize what they were doing as far as their health was concerned. How are they going to stay on top of things? So I know a lot of people can look at that situation, see it as a negative thing, but a lot of good came out of it. And I know a lot of times that's how God works, right? So right on time for not doing any more water reviews, because that I spent time. So I'm taking care of my uncle. In between taking care of my uncle, I'm taking care of my brother-in-law. And then in the midst of that, I'm doing BNI. And in August, I was invited to do a water fundraiser. And so that was probably the last time I posted on here. And that was me sharing weekly updates. And it was really a really weak campaign on my part because I was just busy dealing with family and taking care of the challenges there and being supportive and all that. But despite how horrible it went, in my opinion, because I was barely doing anything to share, we raised $625 to help those who don't even have access to water at all, help them get water systems installed, help them get plumbing and piping going through their homes in countries that don't have water. So thank you for everybody who was helped in that regard. Truly, truly appreciate it. And then I spent time taking care of family. You know what I'm saying? Being supportive of my sister, my nephews, my uncle. And so since then, now that we're in December, October, my brother-in-law came home. He recovered from the stroke. We got him walking again. We had him going to a rehab center. There's a while where he couldn't talk. And so we built him back up. He's on the way, and he's expected to drive at the end of this year. So next week, I'll be taking him to go see a doctor to make sure that he's allowed to drive. And kind of been driving, right? Kind of been testing it out, right? So that's a blessing in itself. And my uncle is driving now. So he is out of the wheelchair. I got him from the wheelchair. We got him from the wheelchair to the walker, from the walker to a cane. And he wants to drive. So the terrifying thing is I rode with him. And yeah, he could drive now. So he's been more self-sufficient now. So that's been amazing. That's been a blessing in itself. And I've been gifted the honor of being the president of our BNI chapter, which I'm starting to learn now that a lot of people don't want to do that, but I didn't mind taking on the role and helping our chapter grow and help other businesses be grow and develop and bring more awareness. So that's been interesting. And behind the scenes of all this that was going on with family and stuff, people are still watching the masterclass. And the people who have watched it and who have caught the vision and see what I'm sharing about water, about electrolyte refused water, they've been booking calls with me. And we've been not only getting them set up, but we've actually been building relationships. And so it's really awesome to be able to, despite all the stuff that's happening with family and all the challenges and moving and where to go and houses flooding, that I'm still able to find time and make time to do the thing that I love, which is sharing and making an income while making an impact, right? So that's what's really been going on. Oh, and in addition, during this whole thing, I've found, because a lot of times when people book calls with me, they learn about filtration and they're like, all right, cool, I see what you're talking about here, but do you have something for the whole home, right? They're like, I don't want to just limit this to my water. I want to make sure that my showers are good. I want to make sure that when we're washing our hands, it's filtered water and all that type of stuff. And so I, for the most part, kept away from whole house systems. And the reason why was because in order to have the same level of contamination as a point of use, meaning one that's on your sink, the water would barely come out because you would have to, the pore size and all the other stuff, which I'll talk about in later videos, it has to be much smaller. And if you actually made it the size to capture and absorb all of those contaminants, you wouldn't have a solid pressure that comes out for your shower, for your bath. And so I finally found a company that does remove that level of contamination, does that contamination reduction level, but for the whole house. So I finally found one that I could recommend. And so that will be coming up soon. So I just wanted to share, that's what's been happening. That's what's been going on behind the scenes. Of course, me moving, I'm in a 2-story place now, downsizing a lot from the house I had. But nonetheless, God is good. So what's coming up in the future? That's the question. What is coming up? And so right now, currently in the works, I have taken out of the 118 water reviews I've done, I think I've taken maybe about 110. And I've already repurposed those videos to make them into shorts. Like, not like a 1 minute short. There's no way. Y'all know I talk too much. You see how much I'm talking now. But it'll probably be like max 3 minutes, where I've taken all the reviews I've done over these 5 years and made them little bite-sized things that just has the hard-hitting points to bring awareness to the waters that people are drinking that are from reviews I did a long time ago, right? So those are coming, and they're all going to be hitting every single day until we get through all 100, 110, however many I did, right? So if you're someone who's waiting on the channel and you're watching, that's the first thing that's going to hit. And then you will not see any more bottled water reviews from me. Like, you're not. And I know in some of the videos, you guys, I put the comments or the question of, hey, let me know what you want me to test next. It's not going to be happening anymore. I can't do it anymore, guys. Like, I'm not buying the bottled waters anymore. Like, I'm not promoting that industry. I'm not supporting it by buying the water, any of that kind of stuff. So those shorts are going to be the last things that I do as far as bottled water. And then I'm getting away from talking about the problem. And I'm going to get towards talking about solutions. So the next series of videos, I'm going to talk about filtration, because filtration is the foundation. Like, this is the first step to having the best water for your health, is filtering it yourself. Bottled water the bottled water you're paying for is simply filtered tap water, except it's been put in plastic, heated, and that leads to microplastics and xenoestrogen, and it is 6 months to a year before you get it off the shelf, right? So instead of doing all that and paying that forever, it's so much cheaper to just filter your own water. And so I'm going to be bringing up filtration, why I chose the company I chose after they're doing the research. I'll be sharing that, and then breaking down not only their filter types, but then actually going into the education of the different kinds of waters we have in the world and why, what do they mean, what's their true use, where they come from, And then I also want to share studies on electrolyzed reduced water, because hydration, yes, it is very important, but I don't think a lot of people understand what happens when you're truly hydrated. I don't think a lot of people understand what happens to the body, right? And the different ailments that people have that many have been living with so long that they don't, like, they're just used to it, like they're numb to it. And so when it goes away because they're actually drinking the right water, like there's things that, yeah. So I'm gonna start sharing those studies along with testimonials that go with them, right? So of course, this has probably been the biggest fear of mine since starting this channel, because a lot of people who have promoted the products I'm sharing before, they got their channel shut down. They've gotten banned. So I really want to share this super bad. So I'm going to be creating an email series as well. But the testimonials I'm sharing, just know that I will omit the name of the companies, because I'm not trying to get in trouble. I don't want this channel shut down. I want to continue being a light, a ray of light for those who are looking, who know that there's something better out there, right? So I'm going to share those studies. I'm going to share those testimonials. And then we'll see what happens from there. All right. So that is the plan. That's what's happening for this year. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out. I think now that my uncle has more self-sufficiency and my brother-in-law is doing well, that gives me a little bit more freedom to do what I wanted to do when I retired, which was do this full time. And then for those of you, because I know probably the biggest challenge, especially right now as well, is I know a lot of people need money right now. And this is a great vehicle to help people, because you save, not only are you saving money, but you can help other people, which is the impact part, which is what I really care about. And then your water can become a tax write-off. That filter that you buy, that system you buy, can be a tax write-off. So now, not only is your water helping your health, it's helping you build wealth, and it's saving your money to where you can put it towards other things, right? Like, just think about it. All the bottled water that you're buying, like, you're not getting it. That's not a tax write-off for you. That's not something you can write off on your taxes. And so just imagine where else that money could be going, especially with everything that's going on. People are having to buy more organic produce and different things like that, and it's expensive, I know. And so we're resorting to stuff that is cheap because we can't afford it. But having a business that you can do that doesn't have to be a full-time business is really just sharing the videos and stuff I have here. And you can be helping yourself, helping your family, and helping your community is ultimately it. And that's what I've been doing. And so I'm going to start sharing about how that works and how you can be a part of that if you choose to. No pressure, but if you're already buying it, if you're already buying the water, you might as well make it a tax write-off. People are going to see it in your home. So people are going to ask questions. You might as well refer them to me, and I can help that person get that water, and you can have the commissions as well. So, yeah. So that is a little bit of what's going on. So I would love for it to happen at the start of the year, but the way my editor works and the way things are going, can't promise that. But soon I'm going to be hitting you all with shorts, reviews, YouTube short reviews of all the waters I've tested. After that, we're going to dig into filtration. I'll be answering questions that y'all put in the comments and the things that people are generally asking on YouTube. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Please, please, oh, please have a blessed new year. Take some time to reflect on your year, what you've done, what you've accomplished, and what you look towards in the future as well. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I look forward to seeing y'all soon, 2026. Let's get it.